a huge and obvious divide between kind of blue state America and red state America, and it's essentially a difference between the coasts and the middle of the country and urban America and the areas outside the cities, right? So if you look at how the country votes, outside the cities, it's mostly all red. Inside the cities, it's mostly all blue. And the cultural divide is just enormous. I mean, people just, again, they don't occupy the same factual universes. I think it's really kind of depressing for me because, I've covered a lot of different things in the United States in the last 20 years or so. And my experience has always been that Americans tend to be pretty decent to one another when they're removed from the political discussion. I've seen people, I covered the Iraq War, and I saw people from very different backgrounds getting along, perfectly and cooperating, even though that was a terrible situation, or Hurricane Katrina. But you get them in a place where they have to start talking about politics, and it's a death battle now. People just do not have any common ground anymore. There used to be some. I think there used to be some areas where sort of upper class cosmopolitan America and kind of rural middle class America, there was some overlap, but now it's basically two different countries. And I think there's a tremendous amount of resentment out there, especially towards kind of upper class, cosmopolitan, college educated or more America. That divide is just getting bigger and bigger every day. I think that was a major factor in, for instance, why Hillary Clinton didn't win in 2016. In fact, Barack Obama even said that after Hillary lost to Trump. He said, the reason that I won was that I went to every little small town in Iowa when I campaigned, and I didn't just go to the places that I knew were going to support me. I went to the other places too, and I talked to them. And I think, Obama, there are many things that I criticized about him for when he was president, but he did do that. He made a conscious effort to at least kind of listen to what was going on in those other parts of the country. And he had tremendous amount of success in these territories that we called like the Reagan Democrat districts, the districts that had been traditionally Democratic, but they leaned towards Reagan in the 80s or Bush in the early 2000s. He did well there, I think, because he talked to them. That has not been the strategy of Democrats since 2016. There's been really no effort at all to kind of reach out and even understand what's going on in red state America. It's been sort of constant demonization of Trump, which on one level I kind of get because it animates their following, but you're basically foregoing massive amounts of votes. And I also just morally don't think it's the right thing to do. If you're leading a country, like, you have to show that you're interested in being their president too. And that's kind of what hasn't happened. Now, to be fair, Trump didn't do that whole lot of that either in the other direction, but he did court voters on the other side. He went after Bernie Sanders voters. He was very open to the idea that anybody was welcome to vote for him, which you don't even hear Democrats say. So I think you're right. I think that's a big problem, that there's this tone of we're talking to our people and that's it. Biden's aides have been openly telling journalists that we've given up trying to get votes across the aisle, that we're going to govern as we see fit from now on, just with the votes that we have, and that's how we're going to do things. I don't know that that's a good strategy.